said that he had to stop nodding his head repeatedly, and he will take action, banning Diddy from the courtroom.
One more nod, and you watch the rest of your own trial from lockup. Those 16 words, fired from Judge Arun Subramanian's bench, cracked through the marble air like static. Sean Diddy Combs froze mid-gesture, 2 fingers still pinched on his legal pad. 12 jurors glanced up, surprised to hear the gavel aimed not at a lawyer or a witness, but at the most recognizable man in the room. Even the court reporter's keys paused for half a heartbeat. In that instant, everyone learned the same lesson. Billionaire charisma doesn't outrank a federal judge's patience. The warning detonated at the tail end of a brutal cross-examination. Defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland had spent the morning circling Briana Bengolan, one of the prosecution's key witnesses, with the precision of a fencing coach. Bana had testified that Diddy pinned her against a Los Angeles hotel wall on September 25 or 26, 2016. Roughly 48 hours of fear blurred into one memory. Westmoreland rolled out a 3-foot poster board of Trump SoHo receipts, signed by the alias Frank Black. Arrival September 24th, departure September 29th, breakfast charges, minibar hits, and a $107 room service tab, all time-stamped in Manhattan, not Los Angeles. Cassie Ventura's name appeared on a companion folio, placing both alleged abuser and alleged bystander on the opposite coast from Bana's story. Jurors leaned forward. The paper trail sounded louder than any testimony. And yet, Bana did not fold. She sat upright, voice steady, and answered the date barrage with the same phrase again and again. Trauma plays tricks. I remember pain, not airline miles. No sarcasm, no tears, no laugh the rumor mill insisted she'd let slip. When Westmoreland flashed a selfie Bana once texted, a palmful of rainbow-colored pills beside a line of crystalline dust, the witness simply said, "That photo shows a life I pretended was normal. It has nothing to do with who hit me." Some jurors nodded, others scribbled. One woman in the front row performed a tennis match gaze, darting between lawyer and witness as if watching for micro-flinches. While the jury weighed timestamps, Diddy's body was writing its own commentary. Every time Bana insisted she never worked the Bad Boy reunion tour, he bobbed his head yes. When she identified him as her attacker, he cut small, deliberate no's. Not grand gestures, just enough motion to register on the corner of a juror's eye. After 2 days of subtle signaling, Judge Subramanian finally unsheathed his gavel. Any further nodding would trigger a limiting instruction you won't like, or outright removal. Translation? Keep your poker face, or the jury will watch you on a courthouse live stream instead of 6 feet away. Outside the hushed chamber, chaos ran a parallel storyline. Fans had started camping overnight for gallery seats. One regular claimed an MTA lady struck him with a hammer when he refused to surrender his spot. Security ushered him away, while the line shuffled forward, anxious to catch a glimpse of the drama inside. Reporters fought their own battle. Prosecutors refused to release unredacted exhibits tied to the next witness, identified only as Jane. Media lawyers argued that news delayed is news denied. The judge ruled safety outweighed speed, and the sketches of Jane would blur her face, just as they had for Mia and Bana. Combs' demeanor remained laser-focused, perhaps too focused, scribbling notes, whispering to counsel, and yes, nodding or frowning at every strategic moment. A defendant has the right to participate in his defense, yet active participation can read as control. The jury sees not only what the lawyers present, but how the players behave between words. A billionaire, accustomed to directing entire brands, might not realize that courtroom charisma can tilt toward intimidation, especially when witnesses testify under pseudonyms for fear of retaliation. The court day ended as it began, with Subramanian laying down a rule: no more visual conversations with the jury. Diddy gathered his papers, glanced at the panel one last time, and this time, the head stayed still. Jurors filed out, passing within arm's reach of the man whose slightest nod had just triggered judicial thunder. Some avoided eye contact, Others looked straight ahead. None returned even a flicker of acknowledgement. If they processed anything, they processed it behind blank masks. An aptitude every seasoned juror learns by week 3 of a celebrity trial. So the chessboard resets overnight. The defense will hammer the timeline again tomorrow. The prosecution will bank on pattern, power dynamics, and witness poise. Sealed exhibits will leak redacted fragments. Spectators will again line up before sunrise, hoping not to meet a hammer in the queue. And somewhere in his holding suite, Sean Combs must practice stillness, because the next gesture, no matter how small, could swap a front row seat for a feed on a courthouse monitor. Was the nod a harmless reflex or a silent command? That question now shadows every piece of testimony. A breakfast receipt may throw mud on a date, a dream text may paint brainwash in neon, and a judge's threat may hang like a storm cloud over defense table 1. But jurors are human. They watch faces as closely as they listen to words. If they interpret Diddy's nod as empathy, maybe they forgive inconsistencies. If they see it as pressure, maybe the timeline gaps won't matter. 12 people carry that riddle out of the courthouse each night, and by verdict day, their answer could decide whether Sean Combs exits through the front doors or views justice from behind a frosted courtroom window, head perfectly, obediently still.